Well, welcome to the Champagne Ministry where we get lit. One moment. And there we are. Hi, Sophie. Hi, Megan. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Champagne Ministry where we get lit, talk shit, and feel the spirit. I'm Reverend Rose, and bitch, it's time that we get into motherhood and mimosas today. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, foes, and hoes of the Champagne congregation, I would like to welcome you. As you enter the sanctuary, please find a comfortable place to sit, and I would love for you to sit, relax, and refresh your soul. The title of today's show is Motherhood and Mimosas. So if you have not already poured your libation, please pour it now. It would be a good time. Now, we begin every Champagne Ministry sermon with a champagne processional. And we will do that in just a moment. But before we begin, I have to do something. And what I have to do is dedicate this show to Mark Spencer. Mark Spencer is the brother of Jessica Spencer. You may know her as Sister Sangria, but for me, she's just Sister. She's one of my best friends and one of the best souls and spirits on the planet. And her brother has made his transition, Mark Spencer. He was only 42 years old, and he leaves behind a beautiful wife and 2 children and a mom and an entire family that will miss him dearly. Mark Spencer actually encouraged me to do the Champagne Ministry, even when he was sick. Mark was a loving, selfless, beautiful, peaceful, kind, yet strong soul. And while we are devastated at his physical passing, and heartbroken, to be honest with you, we do know one very simple truth, that to be absent in the flesh is to be present with the Almighty Infinite. And we know that although he is not here physically, he may be even closer to us now and more accessible to us now because he is one with the infinite presence that is a loving intelligence that is in all things. So everywhere we look, now we can see him and feel him and access him at any moment. And I am knowing that for the family. I am knowing that for Jessica, for Brian, for Shirley, for Crystal, and I'm giving thanks for that. So this show is dedicated to the one and only Mark Spencer. In lieu of flowers, the family is accepting monetary gifts. The link for the GoFundMe is in the bio of the Champagne Ministry. And if you don't know who Mark is, my very last story has a video of his spoken word and his legacy. It's really beautiful and powerful. So check it out if you have not. And with that, we are going to go ahead and begin with the Champagne processional. As we do this, I would like you to just listen to the music, relax, pour your drink, and I want it to get us in the mind state of motherhood and mimosas. This song is dedicated to all the mothers, and it is especially dedicated to Mark Spencer.
Baby, when I love you, you're so strong, but tender too. You're my angel, oh angel. You're my angel, oh angel. Each day I think to remember. I feel so safe, feel secure with you. You give me love, you keep right on giving, fill me up, baby, with the Lord. When things get tough, I can always turn to you. You're my angel, oh angel. You're my angel.
I thought she was about to say, "Oh, angel," again. I just got faked out. That was embarrassing. All right, everybody. Hey, Jessica, we see you. Love you, Marky, forever, forever and ever. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. If you are just now joining us, I'm so sorry, but you have missed the champagne processional, okay? But you have not missed that donation basket, okay? Because that's about to come around, okay? Let me reintroduce myself if you're just joining. I want to welcome you to the Champagne Ministry, where we get lit, we talk shit, and we feel the spirit, honey. I'm Reverend Rose, and bitch, it's time that we get in to some mimosas and talk about motherhood today. If you don't know, this show is dedicated to Mr. Mark Spencer, and let's go ahead and begin. Now, Champagne Ministry is divided into 3 sections, right? We get lit, we talk shit, we feel the spirit. Now, in the Get Lit section, we talk about whatever is, positive, uplifting, what gets us lit or excited about a particular subject, which is motherhood today. Talk shit is where we engage in some cultural criticism. If we talk about the good, we have to talk about the bad. We talk about anything problematic, right? And then for Feel the Spirit, that's when we jump in and we uncover the spiritual lesson. Because at the end of the day, all things are spiritual in nature. At least that's what we believe here at Champagne Ministry. So Get Lit is the good, talk shit is the bad, Feel the Spirit is the truth. We are going to go ahead and begin with Get Lit, right? So before we invite our first guest on, I'm going to tell you what gets me lit about motherhood. Now, I got to tell you, I am not like a mother in the literal sense, like I haven't like had a baby, like a baby has not, come from my body and my loins and things like that. That has not occurred for me just yet, all right? But I am not literally a mother, but in some ways we all mother, right? I'm a woman. I'm able to harness my feminine power, my intuition, my wisdom, my strength, my protectiveness. I give birth to things and ideas and culture and words and things like Champagne Ministry. Like a mother, I am able to protect those in my life and protect what's good and reject what is not in the highest good of myself and those around me. So, not a mother in the literal sense, but I can have an opinion, can't I? So what gets me lit about motherhood is that you kind of have the ability to relive life or re-experience life from a different perspective, like the perspective of your child. I mean, I just imagine like taking my child, my imaginary child, to like the beach for the first time and get the joy of being able to see them like experience sand and the smell and the salty feel in the air and the waves and the wonder of the waves, but the strength and scariness and like running away from them, like, you know, that's a normal thing that I do, right? But to be able to see them experience it for the first time and be there with them, like that gets me lit. That's something that gets me lit about motherhood, the ability to re-experience life through a person that came through you. Like, that's crazy, right? Well, I want to invite on my first guest. She is a literal mother, and I think we should hear from one, don't you think? All of our guests on the show. So our first guest today is Miss Tiffany Rose, and she's going to join us at any second now and share with us her perspective. Hey,
A
girl!
literal, but hey, friend.
She's a literal mama, for real.
I had to fix my face. Whew. I
You
just want to
crying?
say the story, the song, of course I'm crying. Of course I'm crying. But I just want to say to Sister Sangria that I'm sending a lot of love and I'm holding sacred space for your limitless brother now and forever.
Ooh, thank you. Your limitless brother. Ooh, thank
Limitless.
you.
On the
Thank you.
other side, when you join the Most High, you are limitless, friend,
Come on now.
and so powerful.
You already started the preaching and the teaching. Come on.
But that was a song that we played at my uncle's funeral.
Really?
Um, he was like, it has to be Luther Vandross and Luther Vandross adjacent, and that song made the cut.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was like my surrogate dad. So you got me with that one. Got my tissue though. I was ready.
Girl. So I didn't have a tissue, and this is like, like this is not attractive. But I just grabbed it.
You
Something
do
that
what
was
you
clean
have to,
table with. Like, it's not cute. Like, I need like a handkerchief or something like,
right? Like something very ladylike and
yeah, this
nice
is
that
unacceptable.
folds.
How, like, there's bleach stains on it. It's
This is
embarrassing. But anyway.
I picked it up from the
You
because the
found it in the
kids
couch, in the crevice?
because of motherhood. I have a random napkin on my living room floor.
That's one thing. Mamas always have a napkin.
Yeah,
Or something to wipe your face or something with. I don't know how,
wet wipes.
but y'all always got like a tissue and a mini pocket tissues. Like, why y'all always have
Because
paper?
you don't go into war without like a pack. You need stuff. You need supplies and tools,
You
things you
do.
can use.
That is hilarious. Well, like, first of all, I'm so glad that you are here. You recently started sort of like your own show on Instagram Live. I love watching it and love seeing the
Yeah,
conversations that you have. You're the mother of, you have two boys, right?
I do. I
Okay.
do. They're boys until they tell me otherwise.
Okay.
So, two boys.
I like how you said that. So you're a literal mom, and this is the Get Lit section where we talk about the good, right?
Right.
You mentioned something that gets you lit about motherhood, having to do with the liberation of motherhood. Can you tell us
Yes.
what that means?
So this is more recent for me and also like a process. Everything is a process because, good and bad days. But, in quarantine, I'm listening to a lot of things because that I'm now like full time engaged with two young children because they're not in school and all the kind of things, and we don't do anything because we're quarantined. So I do a lot of listening. I'm listening to a Toni Morrison interview, and she says something about something to the effect that like motherhood was like the most liberating thing that ever happened to her, which to a mom of two, mid quarantine, going on my fourth month, that will stop you dead in your tracks and you just be like, I need to understand why you said that.
Right. I'm like,
Because
how?
I think you're brilliant,
Yeah.
but you just sounded crazy.
Yeah.
So she basically just explained that, like, the gist of what she was saying was this, that like your children want the best parts of you and not the stuff that like the world kind of puts value on and expects of you. So you find yourself showing up for them as this version of yourself that you like the most. And as soon as I heard that, and I kind of had to sit with it for a little while, it was just such a like an awakening, because I was just like, oh my God, this is why I can pray gratitude all day when they do something funny or when they laugh at one of my jokes. That's always a highlight. And you know what I mean? Just like those little moments, because I'm recognizing my own freedom in them. They don't care what I'm wearing, who I know, what work I've done, all of the stuff. They just want me to like be present, be kind, be funny, get them some stuff that they need, and like delight in life with them, which is to the point that you were saying too. It's like getting to do it all again, through these kids who are so much like you, but very much who they are. And you all of a sudden are like, I didn't get to do this. I didn't live like this. I didn't have this experience. And now I'm getting to do it. And all I've kind of wanted was this like freedom to just be and do and play, and you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I get to do that all over again. So it is actually the most liberating thing
That
that
is
has ever happened to.
that is so interesting. I mean, because when I think about the possibility of children for myself, I'm like, can I deal with that lack of liberation? Can I deal with not
Yes,
being able to do whatever I want? But when you
absolutely.
said that, I'm like, what? I know she's gonna explain, but you're right. The kid,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, the kids don't care about your accolades, about your
No,
career, about your car, about the mortgage, about they don't care. They
none of
care
it.
about your presence. Are
Mm-hmm.
you there? Are you present? Are you in the moment? Are you filled with love? Can we have
Yep.
some fun? Can we draw? Can we eat a fruit roll up? Like
Please can we have fruit
that's
lala?
what it requires the best of you to show up, because you can't be your mind can't be in the future
No.
worrying about something. It can't be regretting the past. It has to be there. And there's freedom in being in the
Yes,
moment. And
absolutely.
there's a certain joy that children require of you that you have to tap into, even if you got to fake it for a minute, but then you actually believe it. Oh my God.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. And there's restriction, there's restriction with motherhood, because all of a sudden you're responsible for another human being, but it's really boils down to more like time management and asking for help when you need it, and community, and you know what I mean? All of those kinds of things. But like, as far as who you get to be in that role of motherhood, I mean, I was like, what? And
wow.
then you recognize that you've been doing it the whole time. You've been programmed to sort of see this as this daunting, continuous task, when in all actuality, it's hard, it's
Mm,
exhausting, but it's also incredibly beautiful. You just have to recognize it. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
That's such a beautiful thing. I want to hear about your mama mantra. What is that, and what is your mama mantra?
My mama mantra, which is the one and only thing that I will tell people when they ask for advice, because giving advice, unrequested advice, is not okay for a mother, or a person who's becoming a mother. Just an FYI, public service announcement.
Okay.
So when they ask for advice, I will say, believe them, believe who they're telling you they are. And that has been the one thing that I've kind of come back to throughout my entire, Judah's going to be 6 in a little bit. I don't even, 6.
That's crazy.
Do you remember when he was like a little baby?
Yes.
Do you remember? I mean, anyway, so believe who they're telling you they are. So the idea behind that is that they come in fully realized, like they are who they are when they come. I knew who Judah was when I was pregnant with him. He was such like a strong force. And then even with Bodhi, who I had a hard time sort of connecting with when he was in my body, and then for a while outside, that is still true to who he is. He's very mischievous, very sort of like himself. He likes to figure things out on his own, and then he'll sort of let you in little bit by little bit. Judah is extremely strong and present and all of the things. That is who they have been since the moment I met them. And I feel like every situation, every way we find ourselves communicating with each other, they are showing up as the same version they have always been. And it is just my job to meet them there, and to sort of give them the safe space to be that full whatever that is in that moment, and then just believe it and not try to make it what I want it to be. And
Yeah.
that's been the thing that I kind of like will center me every time. So that's my mantra, my mama mantra.
I mean, that's so beautiful and
Oh.
refreshing to hear that. I work with high school students, and recently I've asked them, what role do you enjoy most in your life and what role do you enjoy least? And overwhelmingly, it was I enjoy being a friend the most and the child of my parents the least. Now, some of
Mm,
that has to do with
right.
age and you know what I mean?
Right.
However,
Angst.
when I ask them to explain, they talk about expectations and
Mm,
judgments. And you want the best for your child, right?
absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
at the same time, there's some trust that you have to have in them to allow them to simply be. Because when you have an
Yes.
expectation, there's going to be disappointment, right?
Yes.
Their
Yes.
job is not to live up to be who we want. Their job is to be themselves,
Right, right.
right?
And then you know what that does, Morgan? It teaches them, this came up in one of the lives that I was doing, so I'm stealing this from Joel because he was really the one who put like a word on it. But he was like, it teaches them autonomy. He was like, you're teaching them autonomy, Tiffany. And it's like, oh, right, because now they're learning they don't need to be whatever that adult wants them to be, which is inherently safer. You know what I mean? But
Right.
like they're learning that like, oh, I get to say who I am, say how I show up, say how I want, how I feel about this. They're allowed to express themselves. And it really, our parents, this wasn't their version. You know what I mean? And we're just like trying to do it a little different, a little better.
Yeah.
So some parents just kind of don't even know it's an option. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is so powerful. That mama mantra of, is it believe who they say it again?
Believe who they're telling me they are.
Believe who they're telling you they are.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. Um, I want to hear about the healing of raising boys.
Mm. I don't know what you mean. Um, so a while ago, a friend of mine, Ashley Simpo, she's also a badass mama and a brilliant writer. She's on Instagram, Ashley Simpo. She tweeted something that was basically like, it's very strange the juxtaposition that exists when when you've survived the hurt of men, but you're raising boys.
Yeah.
To which I then responded, yes, very strange. And that I constantly find myself searching for uncontaminated spaces. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
pieces of me that haven't been harmed so that I can offer those up to them. And the really amazing thing that it does, even if you're not a survivor of some sort of trauma or pain caused by inflicted by a man, even if you're someone who has partnered with a man at some point, you get this like window into what was there first. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
what's at their core, who they actually are before they meet toxic masculinity and before they meet expectations and before they meet the traumatic father or mother, the whatever it is, or siblings or friends, disappointments, all the things that then, especially as, Black women, we can sometimes be the brunt of the pain that the world will cause along the way. And there's something really beautiful and healing about seeing boys before that and kind of recognizing who they actually are. And, they're so emotional and so sensitive and soft and tender. And it's nice to take that and put it where pain was. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. It just came to my mind. I can't remember. I think it's a poet. I think it's Naira Wahid, which I'm probably mispronouncing. I'm
I
not sure.
don't know how to say it. I don't know how
I'm
to
not
say it either.
sure,
So,
but There was
Yes.
salt and there she has a poem and I don't remember the poem. I don't even know why I'm bringing it up because I can't quote it. But it said something about like what tragedy or what disaster happens to my son between him coming from my
Yes.
womb to being that big old
Yes.
man.
Being in
You
the
know what I mean?
world.
Like what
Yes.
happened? Like what um like he was born of like my
Yeah.
body and to
Yeah.
be to turn into you know the man that
Yeah.
society says he should be, suppressed
Right.
feelings and not able to express and can only express anger and
Right.
all these
Right.
things, like
Yes.
what happens. And so that's so beautiful. I never thought of that, the idea of seeing a man or a boy before that
Yeah.
conditioning begins and being
Yes.
able to intercept it with reminding him who he is because he already knows. He
Already
already knows.
knows. And it's so good. Oh my God. It's so good. Like that core is so good. And to someone who is a survivor, I don't know that there is anything more magical because, that's like losing faith and witnessing a miracle. You
Ooh,
know what I mean? You just are like, I just got goosebumps too. That shit was hot. I'm gonna
hot
have to write that down.
right there.
Because I mean it really it really is exactly like that. Because they say stuff, they do stuff, the way they respond, it's
Mm-hmm.
so good. But I mean, specifically for survivors of trauma, it is but it is, and it's strange. It's causing me to do work that I have not been called to do in other ways, healing work that isn't under the umbrella of the typical self-care thing or whatever, where I'm literally having to go and find spaces, these contaminated spaces, and put goodness on top of them and like clean it up. It's beautiful. I mean, it's amazing. It's
Damn.
amazing.
Damn. I mean, yeah, no, like, what was the quote? Do you remember that quote that you just hit us with? What was it? Removing the, oh, oh no.
Ah, shit.
You can't be that brilliant that you drop gems like
No.
that and you forget them. It was, dang, me too. Me too,
It's
sis.
the
Oh
I
no.
can't
Well,
I can't.
we can play it back.
Yeah.
But
Oh, right, 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 right,
I
right, right.
wanted to repeat it, but look, you know, I am so glad that you said yes and that
Oh,
you joined us. You took this discussion of motherhood to a completely different level, um, and caused so many ahas. I see in the comments. I want to quickly, before I let you go, hit us with some of these comments. Megan says, yes. Just Jeremy says, Rose is heavy. Rose is heavy. She's light, but she's heavy. Jessica's mind is blown. Little
oh,
Pineapple said next level deep. Hi, Larissa. Gail said that's deep. Nikki said that was beautiful. Little
oh,
Pineapple
thank
said
you.
amen, sister. That was deep. Tiffany says that's powerful. Megan says
Thank
that's
you.
real. Let them, like, kids live in their own truth. Nicole says,
Right.
very true. Jeremy says, say that, sis. So, and Marvelous Style says, I agree. Children come here as they are. Oh, we have somebody crying. My mom, Jessica said, my mom said that the same about us. We have the same personalities as when we were babies.
Yeah, man.
My mom is there. Hi, mom. Hi, Cleo.
Hi,
Um,
mom.
and Jeannie, I'm gonna ask that question to our next guest. So thank you. Those of you in the comments, I'm going to start going through the comments to read them because they're so good and I miss them sometimes, but I'm gonna go
Yeah.
and get them because this is a community that we have here. Um, look, Tiffany, I hope that you will come back
Oh
because
my God, yes.
we need your voice amplified. Okay.
Thank you, friend. Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you for having me. This was beautiful. I appreciate you,
It was
Morgan.
beautiful. Not enough time. I will see you soon, okay? Mwah.
Yes. And thank you, everyone.
All right.
Bye,
Bye.
friend.
Bye, friend. Man, that's how we start. We start by hitting you with that. You don't even want to know what's next. Y'all can't handle it. Like, damn, Tiffany Rose. She did it to you. Disrespectful. She's so good at disrespectful. Like, don't disrespect my intelligence like that to just come just dropping bombs all over the place. Hello.
Peace.
Look,
Can you hear
I
me?
can hear you, boo.
All right, beautiful. Peace,
Yes.
everyone.
Hey, girl, you are outside. The sun is on you. You sit there. You got your yoga mat. You about to do a downward dog on us?
We could do that. We could do some art.
I know you will
Right?
too. So,
Mother got it.
you don't have much time, right?
I have all the time you need, you know.
Sure.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
sure.
Well, let me know if you gotta go. Now,
All
um,
right. I'm super chill. That was beautiful. I mean, she elevated the conversation to a whole other level. When you were playing that song, the hummingbird came and just kind of buzzed around my head, and I
really?
just got a message that he was here. So we are just in the presence of the divine and of the ancestors, those who have transitioned, those who are here and are always here.
Yes.
And so I am blessed to be here among so many just beautiful, potent, powerful, and elevated beings. So thank you again for having me.
Thank you. I just love you so much. We are, Aja and I are friends from college, and she was brilliant back then, and the heifer's still brilliant now, even more so. Now, tell the people where are you from, where you stay at, where tell your location. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. I'll keep it in the 3D. So I'm out in the Inland Empire. I'm a Pan-African holistic health mompreneur. It's a very new role for me. It is one that is beautiful, but also requires me to be many-handed and many-headed and big-hearted. So all of that has been a benefit and something that has gotten me lit just from motherhood. Just the deep and boundless love that you can have for someone is something that just is always pushing me forward, and always also checking myself, and has me checking in consistently about where my level of self-love is, as well as how I'm being present and connected, you know.
Hmm.
So it's a beautiful experience, and I'm here. I'm here if anybody's interested.
Yes, so she is like a holistic healer. She's like yoga master. I mean, all kinds of stuff. She does it all.
Yeah.
So, um, you know, um, on the Champagne Ministry promo, you can tap to get to her Instagram, but I can also do a post afterwards so that you can see what her services are. I'm sure that she can do them virtually as well. So when we talk
Mm.
about supporting each other, when we talk about supporting Black business, Black women, um, especially Black women doing healing and doing the work, ones that are enlightened and intelligent and full of love and spirit and strength, like this is the person that you want to get to know. Okay. So we're in the talk shit part of the show. And
Yeah, why I gotta talk shit?
I always, sorry, I always put you, okay,
What?
next time I'm
That's the old me.
gonna
It's because I
start,
do it so well, right?
that talk
That's
shit
why.
was the old me. I'm in the new
No.
enlightened place. Okay, I know. So why don't something that people don't necessarily tell you, okay, when it comes to motherhood, is that it's not a solo job. It's not something you can necessarily do on your own. So why don't you tell us about the importance of the village and what that means?
Well, that's what I wanted to talk shit about. There's been so many historical changes in society that have pretty much all conspired to break apart the very foundation of the Nubian family structure. Part of it is by breaking us off from our very real traditions. So that even the idea of a nuclear family, that was very foreign to us, because the nucleus of our family structure is community. That's Ubuntu. I am because we are, but also we are because I am, right? So what has happened is that in the absence of a very cohesive village, a very supportive womb-like village where we can discover our greatest gifts, a lot of times motherhood is a challenge. I mean, we have high rates of single motherhood across the board. Even even in families that have dual partners, everyone is, because of economics, a lot of times not being able to be fully present or disconnected from a village structure that gave us our grounding, but also was one of the ways that we continued traditions, we imparted wisdoms, and one of the ways that we grew into our beautiful intellectual, artistic, creative, spiritual selves. So for a lot of us, we have had to either recreate those or seek them out. But one of the other most important aspects of village life was the development and the implementation of rites of passage. And so that's one of the very things that, as a motherhood itself is a rite of passage. Even if you're not you haven't physically become a mother, right? Anytime you give birth to anything, it is a rite of passage. It goes through all different parts of the life cycle, from death. Every birth I've had, I've seen death standing right there at the corner. You're at the crossroads. So as a mother, coming into that process, you understand the entire cycle of life from the inside out, right? So that in and of itself is a rite of passage. That being said, in our traditional way of doing things, mothers were then like almost returned to their own womb, in that women of the community came together, grandmothers, aunts, sisters, all came together to hold space and to help that woman heal in all of her bodies, in her physical body, in her emotional body, in her spiritual body. That is almost unheard of today in our tradition, or in our society. The minimum amount of time that women were kept in that space was usually about 40 days. And that was time that women were cared for. Hot oil massages, womb steams. They were fed nutritious food. The baby was taken care of. One of the biggest anxieties about being a new mother is the newness of it all, So imagine having a village of grandmothers, of aunts who would come in and bathe the baby and take joy in that, right? That was an honored role, an honored position. And that is almost completely unheard of. So many women are forced to go back, to work right away, and not even able to hold space or to care for or to truly bond with their child. And that's another broken rite of passage, because birth itself is a rite of passage. So if I were to talk shit, it would just be that in regards to motherhood, we've made it so much more challenging because we've lost the womb structure of a village.
Woo! You hit us with the Ubuntu. Isn't that one of the days of Kwanzaa? Is that one of the days of Kwanzaa? You're not answering my question.
It's I am because we are. And then the second part of it is we are because I am. So it's that interconnectedness of the individual within a collective sense, right? In order to be an individual, your identity is understood through the collective, but it's also the other side of it. The collective needs the full evolution of that individual soul to come back and to bring into the village what it was called to do. That's why also another tradition was for the griot or the shaman, or sometimes it was just, the grandma or whoever else would come in and speak and listen to the child, right? In order to find out, why did you come into this space? Further, we understand that, in the idea of like the cyclical nature of life, that once we do transition, we become the all that is. But then when we choose to come back, we individuate. That being said, many of us have been here before. And many times we come back into the same family constellations. So like my daughter, that's my Lola all day. Okay. She came in 300 years old. She came in telling folks what to do. And it's because she had been here before. A lot of times, people, young babies are asked, like, who are you? Who in the family's past are you? And then they bring that wisdom, and that's why her mantra was so beautiful, guide, lead, but then follow because children already come in with that knowing and that understanding and that sense of interconnectedness that so many of us are hustling to try to remember.
Right. We're trying to remember. And so, oh my God, you said so much that was so like fire. Oh my God. Oh my God. My brain is exploding. Okay. So, first of all, both what Tiffany Rose said and what you were saying, like Tiffany Rose was like, believe them for who they say they are. And you're talking about obviously the importance of the village and ancient tradition and how we've gotten so far from that. But also the shamans asking the child, why did you come here? Like, what is your purpose? Tell us. It's looking to the child for leadership. See, I think that's really powerful. I think that my talk shit, it's the same as my get lit. It's super exciting to be able to experience life through different eyes, but also as a mom or as a parent, don't get so caught up in the experience of your child that you meld the two experiences and that you think that like you can heal your past mistakes and your past trauma and your past joy and your past success through the child. Their lesson is not your lesson. They are here of their own volition. They don't belong to you. You have to safeguard them. They come through you, but they are children of life and children of God, just like you are. You can't teach them because they are here to learn their own lesson and find themselves. And you can never know who they are because that's only something an individual can do. And when you spend your life judging and placing expectations and teaching them this, that, and the other, they stop listening to that inner GPS. They stop listening. They get into relationships with people and don't have boundaries, and they're insecure because they don't know who they are because we didn't believe who they said they were because we didn't even ask the question. So I think that is so powerful what you're saying and what Tiffany Rose has said, because both of you have clearly laid out my talk shit, which is instead of being so busy teaching and preaching, how about we listen for a minute? Because the children, they just got here from the infinite. Maybe they remember something.
You think?
They just got here off the plane, off the Southwest plane.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they haven't been tainted. They haven't been. Maybe they can be the ones to lead us, because clearly, as human beings, we're not doing very good of a job now, are we? You know. So really,
I mean, I know we both found love in in Khalil Gibran, and I always come back in my parenting to that poem. Your children are not your children. They're the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself.
come on.
And
Come on.
as a parent and as a mother, that gives me relief, because it's like, okay, I don't have to be and do all of it
Yes.
because spirit has this,
Come
you know
on.
what I mean?
Come
Because
on.
they came in with their own understanding of things. They came in with their own life purpose. All I need to do is figure that out and follow it. Now, that being said, I also think it is very important, and that's, we already had a structure of training in place in terms of rites of passage. So what I mean by rites of passage are very constructed rituals and training where in order to pass on to the next level, not just of age, but of maturity, and to be honored and recognized for those achievements, an individual would have to go through training, would have to go through, also challenges, tests. They would be honored by the community. And these happened, in the transition from childhood into adulthood, but also from adulthood into elderhood. And many times it was those elders that would come back around and have and be the ones taking care of the babies, and in turn the babies would be teaching them and bringing them joy, so it was this very cyclical but supported system that we had that we've lost touch of, and even I worked with high school students, and I still do, probably for the past almost 20 years, and I love high school students because they're ripe with rebellion, right? They're ripe in calling hypocrisy. They're ripe in in also questioning the very status quo, and they're ripe for really harnessing the creative power that they still kind of have from childhood, and being able to direct it not only into their own life path, but also into the service of the community. And so without those rites of passage, that's what did they do? Well, they, of course, we are innovative beings. We started to create our own, which then got co-opted into, you know, gang culture, into you know, other things.
Right.
So I think it is very important, you know, not just for the sake of mothers, not just for the sake of children, but for the sake of the community, to reinstitute those rites of passage.
Yeah.
You know, even you know, again, coming back to my experience as an educator, instead of putting so much money into formal education, you know, which we've pretty much given away our right to educate our own children in our own ways. And in a lot of ways, we've given it to the very system that down presses us, right? So instead of putting money and resources into that education system, what we should be doing is creating, you know, a system of rite of passage for parents, you know, that involves a village structure, you know, that we put more support into teaching parents some traditional ways, some coping mechanism, some, you know, breath work, whatever, all the things that we need as mothers to make it through and to really hold space for our kids.
If there is someone to lead that charge, honey, do it and we will follow. Tiffany's.
Oh, we're working on it. We're working on this.
Look, you know, we have to wrap it up, but I forgot my point. First of all, I want to thank you. You are always just like a fountain. Like it just flows. You know what I mean? And I want to thank you so very much for coming on. I know you're on a time constraint as well, but at the same time, we don't believe in no time. You know what I'm saying? But Aja, you are a gem and a fountain of wisdom. Oh, I remember my point. You know how you were talking about teenagers and loving the energy of teenagers. And earlier on to today's show, I talked about how many of the teens I've spoken with say that the role they enjoy most is being a friend, but the role they enjoy least is being a child to their parents. And I caught myself saying, well, maybe it's just because of that age. That is dismissing their experience and what they are telling us. It's like, oh, you're just a rebellious. Well, what are they rebelling against? Maybe that's an opportunity to look to ourselves and turn within and find out, why are you unhappy, right? So I just think it's important not to dismiss the opinions and the knowledge of young people just because of their age. Anything that a child says, just like if an adult said it, we need to take it into consideration and look inward and determine, okay, you know, what can I do? Because their feelings and their opinions are valid and they shouldn't be written off due to age. Anyway,
and as a mother, just what I hear is them saying that right now my parents are not offering me what I need. And in a village structure, you know, uncle would be able to step in. You know, I'm raising a son myself. When he gets to manhood, I don't know how to teach him how to be a man. You know, I know how to teach him how to treat a woman. I don't know how to teach him how to be a man. I need a man. I need a group of positive men to come in and to train him in that way. And if my son is saying, I can't stand you, maybe it's because he's saying, I'm ready to become a man and I need that in my life, you know?
Girl, I love you so much.
All right,
thank
bless.
you so much. Mwah, thank you. And you know you're coming back again, and I won't put you in the talk shit. I'll put you in a different section.
Just a mess with you. I'm just talking shit to you right now, right? I love you, sister.
I love you. Thank you.
All right, blessing.
Bye. Oh Lord. Don't I know some amazing women? We're running out of time, so I wanted to go through all the comments, but oh God, I can't. All right, so we need to go on to Miss Megan Brown, honey. She's my cousin. Catch that. We are going to go straight into the Feel the Spirit. Janelle was amazing, wasn't she? I see your comments. She is so powerful and so just brimming with intelligence and intuition. So seriously, if you are in need of advice, any services. She offers it all. Okay, so I will post her information on Champagne Ministry. Megan, I am trying to connect to you. I sent you an invite. Are you able to accept it? It says connecting. If you can, in the comments, Megan, let me know if there's a problem. It says connecting. So let's see. All right, one moment, everybody. Thank you for your patience. Megan, I am sending you a request one more time. The request should come through and just hit like accept or okay or whatever it says. I think I hear you coming through, but I don't see you.
Oh, come on.
I hear you. I hear
You
you, but
can't
I don't.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So am I having like one of those moments on Versus where like the connection isn't working? What the heck?
You're having a moment. It's so great.
Okay, he
In the
said Megan
comments,
has to click out and come back in. I did that. I'm
okay,
gonna try again.
leave Instagram and come back, okay?
Here I go, y'all, because I got some stuff. I got some
I,
stuff to say.
I know. Exit the app and come back in. Bye. All right. So our last guest is Megan. She's my cousin, actually. She's a new mom. And I thought it would be great to have on someone who is new to the experience and fresh to the experience of motherhood. Her son, Josiah's, because I'm not a mom, I don't do the whole 13 months old. I'm like, what? Like, you're a year. Like, can we, like, I don't even get it. Like, I don't know. But he's like a little over a year. Okay. So I'm gonna go through some of these comments because they were so good. Oh, I think, is Megan back already? I think she might be back already. One moment. Thank you. Sorry, everybody. Sometimes there are some issues that happen. In the meantime, I'm gonna read some of the comments. Hey, Jessica, I love you so much. Cousin Beth said, Megan, woohoo! What else? Little Pineapple, I love you too. Hi, Martha. Thank you. Larissa, thank you so much. Where are some of these comments? Megan, I think I hear you again.
So I see myself, but I'm frozen. Do
Okay,
you see
Are you on Wi-Fi?
anything?
I hear you. I
Yeah,
don't see you. So look, we only have 7 minutes left. Are you connected to Wi-Fi?
absolutely. And it's good
All right.
stuff. This is Comcast.
And you got that high speed, honey. Are you still there? Okay. Apparently her internet ain't that high speed. All right. So Megan, come back if you can. So far, we have gotten lit. We have talked shit. And it is now time to feel the spirit. And I'm sure that she will come back on in when she is able to. For Feel the Spirit, what I want to say is that motherhood, in my opinion, is the ultimate demonstration of trust. When I say that, what I mean is when a mother is going to have a baby, she doesn't know what the experience is going to be. She doesn't know who she's giving birth to. She doesn't know how it's going to change her life. So to me, motherhood is the ultimate display or demonstration of simply trusting, of letting go and letting God. Megan, is that you?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Well, we
Don't
can't see you.
see
We
anything.
only have 6 minutes. We're going to have to go with the audio. So go ahead and let us know. I know this is not how we would want it, but we'll have you back again. Tell
Oh,
us, what
man.
is your spiritual take on motherhood?
So look, everybody, let me just say this. First of all, Morgan, very quickly, nobody's risen the glass yet.
I'm raising it now. I know, I forgot. Are you there? Oh no, she's gone. Sorry, everybody. Technical stuff happens sometimes. I'm so sad. She really prepared and got everything ready. So I'm gonna do a motherhood part two. Unfortunately, it's just not working right now. So I'm gonna get back into where I was before she came in. Motherhood is the ultimate demonstration of trust, right? And it's so amazing because it shows how God, how nature is so intelligent and able to operate without us having to know or learn anything. Just think about it. When a mother is going into that, what I think would be a terrifying experience of having a child, right? How does the milk know to fill within the breast? Weird. How did the bones and the hips know how to open and kind of break so that the baby can come through and the placenta and the water breaks? I mean, how the milk, mother's milk, breast milk, how does it have the exact vitamins and minerals that a baby needs? Like, that is the ultimate demonstration of the universal, invisible intelligence, the infinite intelligence of love that operates in all things. It's God. It works. It's easy. It knows what to do. How does the baby know how to latch on? I mean, it's absolutely incredible. And so what I say to you is the spiritual lesson for me and for you is trust. Simply trust. Just like a mother has to go into that terrifying, scary experience of having a baby and of raising a whole human being because she trusts, you should have that same trust in yourself. And I should as well. Trust. God has built into life and nature everything that we need. We come in knowing who we are, but we have simply forgotten or we've been taught to question it. So my message is whatever it is in life, trust. Yes, if you go out on a limb, you may fail. Yes, you may fall down, but guess what? Every second, every day is a new opportunity to begin again. You just do it again. You got this because God and life has you. Know that. I want to thank you so much for joining us here on Champagne Ministry. This was stepping out on a limb for me. I didn't know if anyone would watch. I didn't know if anyone would like it, but I felt that I wanted to do it. Yes, a show where you drink alcohol and you pray and you curse. I didn't know if it would be accepted or rejected, but I'm so thankful for the community that has come around me. I'm thankful for you in the comments. I'm so grateful and thankful. And this is a demonstration that when life or your intuition is telling you something, motherfucker, you better jump and do it. And if you fail, do it again. If you still fail, try something new. God has built within you an internal GPS. Listen to it. Trust it. Life is good. It's within you. You are brimming with intelligence and creativity. Simply allow it. Don't think, allow, and let it be. I want to thank you for joining us today for this insightful conversation with these queens, honey. And I want to end by saying thank you to Mark Spencer. I love you so much. To all of the Spencers, you all are a light in this world, and I am blessed to know you. Thanks for watching Champagne Ministry. Let's toast. I'm so sorry cousin Megan couldn't join us today, but guess what? I'm going to have her back real soon. You can bet on that. Thanks, everybody. Cheers. Spiritual Conversations Over Libations. See you next Sunday. Bye, everybody.